All right. Sorry about that. We're going now. We're going now. This is 100%. Here we go. Sorry. We got this happening now. I got lots of things going on with this broadcast. You're going to see lots of cool innovations that's happening, much to the thanks of the tools StreamYard affords us. So we're gonna have some fun stuff. It's like massive technology shifts happening in this episode. Big thank you to Self Destructo who popped in. Eric Mighty Q Dog is there, and yeah, we're gonna start off. So as I was saying, I'm just doing this to get a record of the stuff I picked up, and I'll keep a record of what the prices were. So if I ever need to go back and figure out what something was, I can just look at a video and check it out. Because I don't want to do spreadsheets anymore. I really should be, but I don't. God love you, those that can. Cheers to you guys doing spreadsheets. Oh, woo. That's some good stuff right there. Okay. So let's get started. I'm afraid I have to inform you that this is probably going to be your SDC pod of the week. And I'm probably not going to put it on Podbean because that's Joe's job and he's out of town. So all you get is me. So that's why just lost Eric because I said spreadsheets are no good. Anyways, Joe is supposedly vacationing somewhere beautiful. And so he's not here. So we're not going to do a proper SDC pod. So this is what you get. It'll be on YouTube. I really don't want to have to put it on Podbean. I don't know how exciting this would be. It's not really an SDC pod episode if it's just me. So besides that, I can tell you a little thing I did last night. Took the little kid out for her 9th birthday to the Mandarin. I don't know if you saw my tweet on that. And woof, I ate like a son of a bitch. I can't believe how much food I put in me. I'm still suffering from overeating. So if I seem a little slow, that's why. That was a day ago. I'm still trying to get over it. Here, let's do a quick pickup. Keep you guys on the line here. Oh, I'm going to show you the new innovation I came up with. Check this out. Camera 2. 2 cameras. Isn't that exciting? And you guys know I love airplanes. So check this out. This is the first big find. You can put it if I lift it like that and like that. Look at that. You got 2 angles. Isn't that exciting? So you guys know I love my airplanes. This is a die cast. This is a Eurofighter. It's rockets or some gun pods. It's missiles here a little bit loose, but whatever. You can deal with that. I can fix that at some point. It's super sturdy. This was in a baggie at the thrift store. Now, if you were to go to like a vintage toy store or anything like that and look for this, like antique stores have these for some reason. And these, they're pricey there. Individually, these are like $20-$30. But if you're lucky to find them in the baggies at the thrift store, you get $3. So this was in here, as well as one of my favorite. I'll put that right on the runway there. One of my favorite military jets. You guys recognize that thing from the bottom? You have yourself here. That's the A-10 Thunderbolt, otherwise known as a Warthog. Workhorse of tank busting aviation right there. Love this thing. It's big and heavy, hefty, just like the real thing. So I was super happy to find that. And I didn't have one of these yet. Again, it's die cast. Has its full armament. Ooh, that was a tough word to say. You know, it's got, and it's not, it might be plaques. Oh my God, I can't talk today. I blame the Mandarin. It might have plastic missiles and stuff on here, but this is actually pretty authentic to what their payload would be. Like you got this thing here, that's your electronic countermeasure. And on the other side has the sidewinders. And I don't know if that's the infrared pod or not. It's pretty good. And of course, got the giant cannon on there, which is what makes the warthog it's such a feared adversary. That cannon can fire, what is it, 90 rounds a second of depleted uranium rounds? Pretty crazy. Love that thing. Put that right there. Whew, that was a lot to get through. Two items right there down. Say hi to Sean that just popped in on the chat. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. What else? We don't have a ton. Oh, this is important. You gamers, you gamers out there might like this. This was especially you Final Fantasy guys. Whew, I cannot speak. Let me get more of this in me. Okay, so Final Fantasy just pumped out a reissue or a demo or some business yesterday. People are going crazy about it, or 2 days ago. Not my style. I never played them. However, what we do have, what I found, this was in the movie section, and it is a movie, but it is video game related. You got the Final Fantasy Advent Children limited edition collector set right there. So, you know, I think back in the day, I had the promotional messenger bag that came with this. I think it was this thing. I don't remember. I don't have it anymore. It went to my good buddy Musty Hobbit. So he might be interested in this thing. Maybe. Let me move my planes here. We'll open it up. It's a pretty big package. This was complete. All the sharks left it there for me. Maybe because it was in with the movies. But I think I think people would be interested in this. So you got the movie itself here. It's 2 discs. I don't know if there was originally an insert there or not. Hard to say. Anyways, you guys let me know if this overhead camera is worth the hassle here or not. Came with these postcards. Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Must be a great movie. I don't know. So, yeah, these things. I don't know. Is it neat? It's not for me. Someone will want them. There's that dude. People love that dude for some reason. And, yeah. So a bunch of postcards. It also includes this thing, the script. Is it really the script? Yeah, it's really the script, all right. Even down to the time markers of all this stuff. So, not so much. It's not like a pre-production script. It's a post-production script. So that's neat. It looks very clean. Spines look good. Put that over here. And Final Fantasy Advent Children, the novel, the novelle. And that's what it is. It's the novel. Not much of a novel. It's pretty small. I don't know. Is this good? Do people like this? So I thought that was kind of neat to find that in the movies. And I do believe this is the messenger bag that I gave to Musty. So we'll have to see if he wants this. If he's interested. Well, it's going to cost some big dollar. Some big dollar. Wow, I got a real celebrity in the chat right now. NES friend. How's it going? That's Trav from Polykill Podcast. Polykill Podcast. That is the Cartridge Club podcast of the year. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. What can you say about that? Speaking of podcasts, I hope you guys check out Cartridge Club Portable. That was just released. The Zelda Link Between Worlds. I appeared on that with Curtis, my friend Curtis. We had a great chat about the game. A lot of fun. Tune into the podcast to find out what happened. But yeah, that's me guesting on a pretty big podcast. So I hope other big podcasts out there are listening. I could use that as a stepping stone to jump onto other podcasts. You know, what's next for me? Could I even get like a invite to Polykill podcast? That's crazy talk. Why am I even saying stuff like that? Flock of nerds, maybe? Oh, why make these grand aspirations for myself? I'm just gonna crush my own heart when I don't get invited. Continuing. Let's continue on. How's the 2 camera setup? Is it worth it? And if you really want to get specific, you can go full screen here, but I think it on my screen it looks like digitized, but I don't know, maybe it looks okay. It's probably better than just seeing me. So because yeah. You just got me. Oh, jeez. Go back to the 2 screen. What else do we got? Well, speaking of books, look at this big mother. Self-Destructo says he likes full screen. Full screen over top, I imagine, right? So you don't have to see me. I was in the thrift store, and I like to peruse the oversized book section. Why not? That's fun. Where am I going to put this crap? And so this art book was here. Let me just work the system here. Should I put it on the keyboard? Won't that turn us off? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's go full screen. Tom Thompson. All of us Canadian art lovers know Tom Thompson. He's the man. He's the man. A lot think of him as a Group of 7 guy, but I think he's actually a precursor to the Group of 7. And this book came out in 77. You can just barely see that here on the. It's out of frame. So this book came out in 77, and they wanted $50 for it in 77. Can you imagine? So nowadays this would be like a $200 book, and you can tell the artwork is just excellently represented. You get to see a close-up of the brushwork and the actual full shot of the piece. I think we all recognize this one, right? We've seen this before, the Jack Pine. And then you get a nice close-up look of the work, which is kind of neat because looking at the brush strokes, it appears the background came in after the foreground. Isn't that neat? So not only that, it has all of his work as well as some nice biographical write-up on the man, including his early work in advertising and, you know, everything else. This is a great book. I love this. This I'm going to keep. Hopefully one day my kids will appreciate art, and I can show them stuff like that. So that is a cool book. Sticking on the books, this was also there. The Complete Beatles Recording Sessions. And see, you know, it's not bad size. It's floppy. It's I think this is from the 90s maybe, but it still has everything that was involved in all of their recording sessions and the stories behind them, like day by day, by the days. Here, they're all listed. And so you can find out the interesting things that happened in each recording session, who was there, who played on what, who wasn't there. You know, there's lots of tracks where Ringo was missing. And there's my receipt. For instance, on the very last recordings, let's see if I can find it here. My little story about, Let It Be, Sunday, January 4th. Now, if you listen to Let It Be when it plays on the radio, maybe you'll listen and hear that sometimes the guitar solo sounds way different. And, okay, here's what you'll hear. You might hear a very soft kind of guitar solo that's very melodic and harmonious and mellow, and then you'll hear another guitar solo, even though it's the same song, on a different time you'll hear it, and the guitar solo is raw and raging and to the bone, bluesy, and that's because they recorded two separate solos from George Harrison, and the one he played, I think it was a Flying V, and so he just went to town on it, and the other time was his regular guitar, but it was plugged into a Leslie amplifier, so which is normally used to amplify the organ. And then I learned by reading this that the original idea was that both those solos were supposed to be dubbed on top of each other, so you would hear them doubled in the track, but we never got that. So I'd be curious to know what that sounds like, hearing both those solos together. So what ended up happening was the single got one version and the actual album got another version. So that's why you hear two different versions on the radio. Depends what track they play. What else? I'm digging out some stuff. What's he getting? Well, you're getting a preview here. So I was, here's a preview. What are you going to do with all this stuff? What are these? What are these? Okay. So we were in the thrift store, me and the little kid, because the big kid doesn't want to be seen with me. She's of that age where that's the last thing she wants to be seen with her father. And I spotted this thing on the floor. I went, holy smokes. That is, that's a Toy Story toy, obviously, right? There's Woody. He's riding on this train thing. And it was super heavy in the store. So it's powered by itself. And it was super heavy because in here, 6 C batteries were in there. 6 of them. 6 C batteries. Can you believe that? Who even has C batteries anymore? And then when you do the wheels, like Woody moves around and stuff. He kicks around. So when he's on the track, he moves around. So I thought that was pretty neat. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to grab that because that thing's got to be worth something just on its own. And it is. And the little kid says, hey, look beside where you just found that. I said, oh, well, that's just some kind of Hot Wheels carrier or something. It's good eyes, but not what we're looking for. And she goes, no, dummy, look beside that. And here was this one. So that's what's her face, and the horse, what's his head, on their own carriage. And well, I took the batteries out. There was 3 more batteries in this one, and the electrics hooked together along with the hitch hooked together. And again, this one has powered wheels that do something. So when, you know, the wheels are going, she waves and stuff. So I thought, oh my God, great find, kid. Good work. Of course, she's missing an arm, a hand. Something happened to her hand right there. So I don't know what that was about. Great find. Two of these things. That's going to make some money. Good work, kid. And we kept looking down the shelf a little bit more. And sure enough, I saw this, the caboose. So here's the caboose, Toy Story 2. And it's got, what's his head? Comes out of there. Pops out. This caboose takes no batteries. It's just pull along. So he's at the end of the train, hence the caboose. And I guess he pops out by friction or I don't know, something. Well constructed, though. This stuff's well constructed. So I saw that. I'm like, man, there's 3. We're in the money now. We got 3 of these things. And then I look further down the shelf, and that's where all that track was. This track was just on a shelf. So I'm like, what is this? Do you think the track goes to this thing? So, you know, I take a piece of the track out, and I put one of these dudes on the track, and sure enough, the track fits. And the kicker is only one of these had a price tag on it. So even though they were all pulled apart at some point, there was only one price on one of them. And obviously that means it's for the whole set. You wouldn't break that up. So I got to get all 3 of these cars and the track for, I think it was $6.99. So pretty happy with that. And it is missing one car. Does anyone know what car is missing? Let me move these so I can see. What car could be missing? Does anyone know? You got the Woody, you got the Jesse, and you got the bad guy. Who's missing? Buzz Lightyear is missing. Apparently he has the engine, but it's not like a traditional train engine. It's like a, you know, obviously a spaceship kind of engine, and he's in that. So unfortunately that is missing. And I never went back the next day, nor the next couple days, because this was last week. I wanted to, but you know, I can't live my life going to thrift stores, unlike some people whose life is in collecting. So I'm gonna have to let it go. Sell those like that. It's pretty, you know, otherwise it's pretty complete. And I think all of those pieces together with the track, even missing Buzz Lightyear and missing the Broad's hand, will probably be worth around $50. So happy with that. Although I'm unable to test it because it takes 6 friggin' C batteries, 6 of them. And who's got C batteries to begin with? And who's got 6 of them? So I'm going to have to sell it untested. Yeah. Oh, I didn't give the price on the Final Fantasy thing. That thing was $5.99. And the books, you know, the books were $5 or whatever books go for. And was that it? Are we all priced up? Now, I was going through the listings, trying to figure out how much the Woody train is worth. And it turned out, I got the prices on them. Like each of those cars, if you sell them individually, you can sometimes get $30 each for them. So I was going through all that, but as I said, I have to sell it untested, and it's not really complete because it doesn't have the engine. So I'm going to probably put it for $49.99. But as I was going through the Toy Story stuff, and the little kid was still with me going through this stuff, I said, check this out. What is the Toy Story item that you think will be worth the most amount of money? And right at the top of all the ads is this thing I barely recognize. And if you find this thing, and I showed it to her, I said, if you find this thing, we could make like $200 on this junky piece of plastic. So, oh, that was cool. So the next day, not the next day, it was actually yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. We're going through the thrift store again, me and the little kid, because the big kid won't be seen in public with me. And she like body checks me out of the way as we're going through the bags. Body checks me out of the way. I'm like, what are you doing? Here, check this out, she says. And in a baggie is this guy. You guys know who this guy is? I didn't even know how to look him up because I don't even know his name. But this was the person, the dude that was on the eBay listings as being worth the big bucks. This dude. And he's got a little lever back here. So you pull the lever and he goes, Mrr. I'm happy. I'm mad. And he's got posable arms and he's got the legs. And this guy's actual name is Chunk from Toy Story 3. And it's been a while since I saw Toy Story 3. But yeah, this is the guy. Now, unfortunately, the guy that's worth the real bucks, it is this guy, but it is the 8-inch version of this. This is about 5 inches. So the 8-inch version of this, so he's exact same, looks the exact same. It's just, it's the exact same. It's just 3 inches more, ladies. It's the same though. It's just 3 inches more. And if you find that guy, 8-inch version of Chunk, that's between $100 and $200. So this guy being the 5-incher, hey, we all can't be 8. 5 is fine. You still get the job done. You can still do everything 8 inches does. Same exact things, just 5 inches. It's fine. This guy still will bring $50. I don't get it. So there's that. And in the same baggie with him was, if the 5-inch is too much for you, it's got this guy. How much is this? What's this guy come in as? Let's see here. Yeah, he's 3-inch. So you got your 5-inch and you got your 3-inch, and then there's an 8-incher. So I don't know the value of the 3-incher, and you just turn his face like this. There's no lever, but I'm going to put those two together, ask for $50, see what happens. Little kid gets none of that. None, I say, because I have to do the work of posting it. And yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. And it's kind of cool how she retained that knowledge I told her the week before of value of these stupid pieces of plastic. Now, this was in a baggie. So hold on, taking a drink. You know, in a baggie is filled with all kinds of other crap. And I thought this was a piece of crap that was in there. I thought this was crap. Because I have no idea what this is. Y'all seen this before? He's got like a squishy tummy, some big mouth. We do have some markings on the bottom. I doubt that'll focus. It is Fisher Price from 2008. So that's all I had to go off of. Fisher Price 2008. Plug that in. Start doing the research. Turns out this is from, oh, I forget it now. It's some space line they had called Imagine X or something like that. And there was a space shuttle, there was astronauts and aliens. And this is one of the aliens. And the astronauts that come with it fit in this guy. So he eats aliens. Pretty hardcore for Fisher Price. And it's kind of neat. He's got brains sticking out of him. And this is like a big brain or something. Pretty hardcore for Fisher Price. I appreciate it. So I ended up I did look this up, and even this thing can bring in $15 to $20. So that's going to be worth putting in a listing. I was just going to turf it. I was walking towards the garbage when I saw the amount of detail in it. I thought, you know what? I should just look this up just in case. And sure enough. Now, the other thing that was in there, and this was in robot mode, or mostly when I found it, and I managed to somewhat get it back to semi-truck mode. Somewhat. Not too bad. A little weird looking, but I think there would have been big guns or something that stuck on the side, which would cover up that crap. And I don't get why the back is hollow in there. It's hard getting my finger in there. I was trying to put my finger in the front, and I really had to go in the back. So that was weird. So yeah, this is Optimus Prime. I'm not 100% sure. I can't find the date stamp on it. This is, hey, Musty popping in. Musty, you got to watch the beginning of this. There's something you might find interesting. Qu'est-ce que c'est? You got to watch the beginning. So this is where we need Steven Eider to pop in to figure out which Optimus this is. I'm pretty sure it's not worth anything. It's garbage. This is based on the movies. I think it's 2010. 2010 version. The thing that'll set this apart is this kind of glassy hood and glassy roof. I think that's how you'll be able to, that's this one. That's Optimus Voyager class, whatever the hell. Anyways, when Steven finally gets around to watching this, he can tell me if that's worth keeping or not. Probably not. That can go in the garbage, probably. But that's how it's different from what I can tell is this hood, this glassy hood stuff. I'm enjoying what Trav is putting out on the chat. He says this is SDC Pod from now on because Joe's moved to Maui to collect more mussels. Yeah, he needs. I don't want to say. Oh, there's one more thing. Hold on. Another drink. "35 minutes of slowly showing pickups. How exciting. Keep this hidden. So before, I showed this before on other pickup videos. I found a pricing gun before with one spool of pricing tickets on here. So we have the big Barrie Game Exchange coming up in 1 month. It is 1 month today, April 5th, the Barrie Game Exchange in Barrie, Eastview Arena, entire arena of selling and purchasing and having fun with other game collectors. And as a seller, you need to put prices on here. So I found this price gun a while ago. It only has one spool of tickets. And if you've shopped for this stuff before, once you run out of tickets, that's it, because it's very hard to find refills. So while at the thrift store, I found another one in the box. And let's open this puppy up. Another priced gun. And it comes with a whole rack of ink refills, which again, like the labels, extremely rare nowadays. So that was cool. And I was with the little kid again at the thrift store. And I was telling her my excitement of the price gun. And this might be why the big kid won't come with me, because this is the excitement I share about pricing guns. And so she took that in, and we're going through the rest of the baggies on the wall. She goes, "What are those things over there?" I said, "Oh my God, those are pricing labels. Multiple rolls of them. Look at this. Look how many are here. 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls of price gun rolls. I haven't had the heart to take these out and see if they fit in the pricing gun, because I don't want my heart broken and see they don't fit, but they look exactly the same, like they are the right thing. So my items at my table at the Barrie Game Exchange will have some beautiful, beautiful pricing stickers on there. Like, that's got to bring up the value of this, because it has authentic old school price tags on it, I think. So yeah. Okay, and with that, that's got to be everything. I know what you're saying. Don't you have another antique calculator to show us? No, I do not. I think that is really it. So yeah, good times. Good times. We got some brand new metal planes. The Eurofighter. This is what's competing with the F-35. You know, the Americans got the F-35. In Europe, they got the Eurofighter. And notice its delta wing design. What does that remind you of? Now, all us Canadians are going to say that looks like the Avro Aero delta wing design. Exactly. 50 years later, 60 years later, we're still using the designs of the Canadian Avro Aero, ill-fated Avro Aero. Yeah, so that's it. That's the thing. Asteroids. You're right. It is like asteroids. Thanks to StreamYard, we're able to use these kind of tools to do a multicam setup here. My computer is humming so loud, it's like it's decoding DNA strands or something. But yeah, Trav's wanting me to use the overhead cam for some finger puppetry. You know what that will result in. And you know, got to keep it somewhat PG. You know, you do stuff like that, and Duke will never watch you anymore. You got to keep it on the up and up. So, do we have anything else to talk about? Any other business? Podcasts? Go check out Cartridge Club Portable. Link between worlds. This guy appears on it with Curtis. Good times. And that's a quick podcast. Like, you know, we're used to longer podcasts where we can drone on and on about stuff. Curtis keeps it tight. He keeps things super tight. And I got on there with him, and I started, you know, I was riffing. I was batting things around for like a half an hour. And he's like, "Okay, are you ready to start the actual show now?" I'm like, "Oh, this wasn't the show? No, we're going to start the real show. We don't put this filler stuff in." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm spent now, but let's start the real show." So you game guys, you're going to like it because it's game talk. There's none of this fooling around talk in there. So it's good stuff. Check out Cartridge Club Portable. And for me, as like I said, as a podcast tiny player, I hope to use that as a stepping stone into the bigger podcasts out there. I'm going to wait by my inbox for invitations to come in from the big shows. Let me tell you, Cartridge Club Portable, pretty big. So I think I'm ready for the other big shows. Just saying. Other than that, thanks everyone for coming in and joining me live. That really helps out when people are here. If you're watching this recorded, leave a comment, Again, say whether you appreciate this kind of thing going on or just forget about it. Is it worth it? I don't know. And I should say, why am I not pre-recording these with my phone? Because my phone memory card, I still haven't sorted out why it's not recording. That means I'm too cheap to buy a new memory card. So we're doing it live. Why not? And this has been your STC pod for the week. So enjoy that. Not a lot of private conversation here for you to explore, but it's the way it is. It's just me here. So what can you do? Other than that, what can we say? I would open this up to callers if anyone is interested. We can turn this into a real show if you want. If callers are interested, we can just open up the phone lines and have a real conversation. Enough of the pickups. Let's talk to real people. Because all you got to do is click on a link and you're in the show. But I know many people are at work. Many people are not camera ready. So, they don't want to jump on. But, you don't even have to share camera for this kind of setup. I love the StreamYard. It is so easy. It really works well. Me and Curtis, we did our Cartridge Club Portable using Skype, and that was a disaster on my end. I don't know if it was my connection. Probably was my connection. I had 2 kids who I said, don't be online. Daddy's doing podcasts, so you can't stream. And I know they were up there streaming away. And my connection kept getting crappier and crappier. I hope it turned out okay in the podcast. I'm sure Curtis had to edit around that pretty severely. But whenever we do this stuff on StreamYard, it's rock solid. Rock solid. Everyone should be using StreamYard while it's free, because this ain't going to be free forever. Okay, we actually have a question. We have a live question from Trav at NES Friend. By the way, if you want to watch some crazy NES videos, entertaining as all get out, check out NES Friend on YouTube. He asked, what's your process for flipping these finds? How much time do you invest in that part of it? Pics, posting, shipping, etc. Where to begin? It's it sucks. The posting of it sucks. And man, I saw some stuff on the thrift this week that I really wanted to pick up, but you really needed a store to like a physical store to sell this stuff. Like big old antique candy jars that you would see in like old school confectionery stores, glass with the lid that came on it. Those were there. It's like, oh, I would totally buy that. I'm sure someone would buy it off me, but I need a store to put that in. So I'm stuck using eBay and Kijiji. Kijiji is our Craigslist. And for instance, last week I bought 3 speakers, or 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago I bought 3 speakers. Maybe you saw my link, my picture on Twitter of them. They were big tower speakers. And they were only $14 for all 3 of these Sony speakers. I thought I'm going to take a chance on them. And I tried them out for myself, and they don't sound good. They were crap. They had lots of kick and lots of high end, but no mid. No mids. What can I do without mids? So I put them up for sale right away. The 2 towers were so big, I'm not going to ship them. So those go on Kijiji. And the center speaker, it was a center speaker and 2 towers. The center speaker I put on eBay. And I happen to have a box ready for that. And it took pictures right away. So getting back to the question for using eBay, I'll take pictures with my Trav says he's a mid boy himself. They didn't compare the speakers I have here. My speakers are like they're good. I don't even know why I bought them to begin with. It was $14 for 3 speakers. Anyways, So eBay, I will take the pictures on my phone, and there's a couple ways to go at it. If on my phone, you can find the same item on eBay, sometimes there's a button there that says sell these yourself. And you just click that button and upload the photos you took onto that new ad. Often that button isn't there for some reason. I don't know if it's eBay Canada or what, or if it's just me. A lot of ads don't have that button. So I have to go the extra step of going on my desktop computer or laptop, whatever, and finding the same ad. And on the desktop version, you'll always have that button there, sell this yourself. So you find the exact item, hit sell these yourself. And then at that point, I'll just go down to the bottom and go save as a draft. So that's just sitting as a draft back on my phone. Then I can upload those to, I'll open the eBay app, go to my drafts, and upload those pictures to the draft. And of course, you can just do this. You can also hook your phone up to the computer and upload the pics from your phone to the computer and then attach them that way on the desktop. And I'll do that if I've taken pictures of like 10 items. Then I'll just cable my phone to the computer and do it all on the computer. But I only had one item. So that's the easier way, is to just upload it through the app to the draft of the ad you made. And then I go back to the desktop and finish filling out the ad, because I find on the cell phone, on the app, they make it more difficult for sellers to create the ad that they want, the seller. Like things like when you select buy it now on the app, it's harder to turn off accept offers, because I don't want to accept offers. Accepting offers sounds great, but if you do accept offers, again, let me back up a second. The reason why we choose buy it now is because you can force buyers to pay you immediately on buy it now. If you accept an offer, it goes back to the old way where the buyer can send you money whenever they feel like it. And so you're the next week chasing down the buyer for the money, which is a royal pain in the ass. So that is why I use buy it now consistently, because if they use buy it now, they have to send the funds that second. The same if you choose to do an auction. Auctions, you cannot get the money right away. So the auction will be won by someone, and then you're after them for the next week to pay. Because everyone's a dummy out there. Everyone's a dummy, and no one has respect for anyone else out there. So a lot of times people will make bids on stuff, and whether they want it or not, this looks interesting, bid, and then they end up winning it, and they go, oh, I don't really want it. I'm not going to tell the buyer that, or the seller, and I'm not going to bother with any emails. So you go through the whole process of buyer did not pay and have to end the whole thing and then start a new ad again, or relist the ad and go through the whole thing all over again. So buy it now and must have immediate payment. That's how I like to do it. And all those little things, like I mentioned, are not available in the app. So you got to do it on the desktop. On the other hand, those other two tower speakers, they went on Kijiji, where you have to sell in person. And again, because society is filled with idiots and dummies who have no respect for anyone, that becomes a huge pain in the neck. Because what do you get? A million messages of, is this available? No, it's not available. I put the ad up just to show you what's no longer available. And then you get other messages. Does it work? Well, I put right in the ad that it works. And then you have people that want to have a big conversation about it and set up entire plans and then never show up. 2 weeks this has been on Kijiji, and I've had many, many people looking for this item or wanting it, showing interest. I don't know. There's Sony speakers. I wouldn't be interested, but many people were. And I didn't have a high price on them. 2 tower speakers. They're 180 watts each. So on paper, They could. And I only asked for $50 for the two of them. So I had lots of people looking at it. One dude, this is incredible. We're going back and forth on, whether they work and if they're available. I'm like, yep, anytime. I'm available all day tomorrow. Come on by and get these. And his message was, okay, so what's the catch? What's the catch? What do you mean, what's the catch? I just wrote back with a question mark. And he wrote back, oh, I've been scammed many times with this sort of thing. And I'm just wondering what the catch is with these speakers. I don't know. I said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, then I was honest with him at that point. I said, look, these are Sony speakers. They're no big deal. It's nothing. It's not like $1,000 speakers that you're finding on Kijiji for $50. These are maybe $200 speakers, at retail that you're seeing used for $50. It's not a dream find. And then he never wrote back to me. So whatever. But today a guy did come and he drove 2 hours to get these shit speakers. I don't get it. So yeah, this guy drove 2 hours, and then when he showed up, he's like, I only want one of the cones in one of them, but I'll take both of them. I'm like, these aren't that good. What, am I missing something? And then as we're walking out to his car, he said, these are vintage, these are from the 80s. I'm like, I don't think so, but you go ahead with that belief, because whatever. Anyways, they went to a new home, and hopefully the guy is happy with them. They weren't that great. But speaking of the eBay ad of the Center Channel one, this is, I think, my first time selling just a speaker. So the ad I had to craft to let potential buyers know that there's a helicopter going over, that they are not to, pick up the speaker, buy it, and have me ship it to them, and then to listen to and go, oh no, this is not the sound quality I expect. I had to craft this ad to say that as a seller, I make no statements on the sound quality, as sound quality is person to person, and the seller cannot be held responsible for how someone detects sound quality over another person, and the seller will not be held responsible for buyer's remorse, or makes no statement towards the quality of the sound. The seller is only saying that this speaker puts sound out there, that all the cones are perfect, there's no tears, it is operational, but the seller makes no warrant to the quality of the sound. This is all the stuff you got to do. And the big hassle that eBay has put us through now as sellers, they're used in the used, like you have to say what condition the item is: new, used, open box. So in the used section, now used pre-fills the listing with words like operates as intended and works like new. It pre-fills that crap. And so I sell vintage electronics and vintage radios, antique calculators, for Christ's sakes. I can't sell you a radio that's 80 years old and put used on it, and I can't say that works as it worked when it was new, because it's 80 years old and it's a radio, for Christ's sakes. It's got tubes in it that degrade over time. Yes, it operates, but it will not operate as if it came out of the store. So eBay has pre-filled the used stuff with those words, which buyers are now using against us sellers for fraudulent returns, because they'll get the item and they might not like it anymore, and they'll say, you know what, this radio from 1950 doesn't dial in 98.9 like my other radio does. So therefore, it doesn't work and is not as described. And then me as the seller get forced upon this return and have to pay for the shipping back, or just give it to them for free, which we normally have to do because we can't flip the bill to pay for the shipping for this piece of junk to come back. That's eBay for you. Or I sell a 60-year-old camera. The shutter is not going to be as fast as it was when it was new. And how can I even test it? So eBay will tell you as a seller, they're like, well, if you cannot test it and you can't guarantee that this works as intended when it was new, then you should list it as parts and not working. Oh, that's a bit of a jump, isn't it? To go from used to not working. Don't buy this piece of shit. So that is the tightrope we're forced to walk upon when we sell vintage and retro electronics on eBay. And that's what I have to do. So that train set I showed, I'm going to have to sell it as I'm not going to do not working for parts. That's just not right. So I'm going to sell it as used, and I'm going to specify that it's untested. And I also have a line in my ads that say no warranty towards operation and should be considered as a static display piece. And that, you would think would get us off the hook, but then you have the used thing that pre-fills the listing, which supersedes our own description. So you have to just kind of fly by the seat of your pants that the buyer is not going to read through all the other pre-filled stuff and just know that they're buying something that's 20 years old or 40 years old and accept what it is. And what can you do? That's what we work with. But I like that line I put in there. Should be considered a static display piece. I say won't be warranted for operation outside of being a static display piece. Because even the game controllers we sell and stuff like that, I like to sell that as a static display piece. If you want to try plugging it in, good luck with you. But I'm not selling it as that. I'm selling it as a static display piece. And of course, I have to bring my prices down, way down, because I'm selling it like that. Whereas, people in the States who don't have the high shipping prices, they're able just to send it out willy-nilly. And if they pay for the shipping back, it won't be that much. Again, just you want to sell a Guitar Hero guitar, I can test it out. I can test out all the buttons. But just think of how many permutations of button presses you can make out of a controller. I can't guarantee 60,000 different combinations of buttons will work on that controller. Help me out. You're getting a used controller, deal with it. So that's what we got to deal with. You can say tested and working as much as you want, but you can't really test it. You can't test these things. A retro radio, I can't guarantee that every station is going to come in because I don't know what stations you have out there. But that's kind of what eBay wants us to do. Uh-oh. You got Buried on Mars coming in now. Kevin gave me a compliment on Twitter today. He said, I always bring my A game to podcasts. So I appreciate that. However, Kevin, you are too late, man. You're too late. The show's over. I've been vamping now for half an hour. Trav gave me one question and I vamped on it for for half an hour. But definitely go back and check out this video, because look at the new stuff I came up with. Overhead shots. See that? So you can show stuff on the overheads. This is like a real production going on here. Kevin said he just got home. Would you guys like to hear a conversation between me and Kevin? Should we get him to call in? I don't know what we're going to talk about. I give him grief for going to record shows and not calling me, not giving me the heads up. Could give him grief about that. Every record show I've been to, I call up Kev. I say, listen, there's a record show. I think we should go. And then we go. I got to wait for him to get ready and stuff because he takes a while. And then we miss all the great deals that are at the beginning. But yeah, we go together. Except recently. Kev says the next record show is March 14th. And I do believe I am off. March 14th, eh? That's a Saturday. I'm off. Oof. Do I need more records? You know, I heard from watching Joe's collection videos, he's a big record guy. I wonder if he'd go to a record show. Okay, why don't you, if you want to argue, call in and argue. That's what people want to see. Take time away from all of Kevin's hobbies to call in. Let's see. Kevin manages to watch 100 movies a month. He manages to read 12 books a week. He finishes about 30 games every 2 weeks. He records about 10 podcasts every week. And then goes to record shows. And he gets to eat at diners all the time. So we have to figure out, all of us together got to figure out how Kevin has all this time on his hands. I want to hire a private investigator to follow Kevin around. Figure this all out. Buried on Mars says he refuses to come on because he has no pants. You don't have to turn your camera on. Anyone who wants to come on, you don't have to turn your camera on. I'm going to remove my overhead camera from the stream. I should do a documentary on how to create such an in-depth StreamYard presentation for YouTube with multi-cameras. That would be an exciting documentary, wouldn't it? By the way, if you guys aren't watching The Expanse yet, you got to get that going. Holy mackerel. I'm midway through season 3, and that thing, like a feature film all the time. Hold on a sec. We got big news. Hold on, everybody. Big news coming on. I got to get headphones on. We got a big star coming on screen here. You wouldn't even believe it, guys. This show just ramped up. Let me tell you. Look at this guy.
Hey.
Buried on Mars.
There we go. Hey, you get me. I wasn't going to come on, but then you start getting me going here. What are you talking about? $30. I've been trying to read Stephen King's It for like the last 2 months. 12 bucks a week, you said? I wish.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome if I could keep up
Well,
that pace.
That's what we have to explain, because you come on the socials and tell us all the stuff you've done, and part of it has been 12 books a week.
No.
Not to mention jigsaw puzzles too.
Well,
10,000 piece jigsaw puzzles he does every night.
It's 1,000 piece, and it probably takes us about a week to do them. I do them with Sarah. And see, this is what I talk about time management, because I take all those vinyl records that I buy and I spin them while I do the puzzle. See how that works? I'm doing 2 things at once, killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
That sounds nice, but can we really enjoy the vinyl record if we're messing around with a puzzle?
Absolutely. Sit back there and just sit and listen while you're doing a puzzle.
What? I don't know if you have your right mic on, because you're.
Oh. Do I not? I don't know. I just quickly set this up.
Yeah, because you don't have the beautiful sounding golden throat that you normally would.
Let's see. Cam mic, camera, audio. How about now?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
See? Oh, that is so soothing. Wow.
Yes, all my phlegmy mucus all getting through there. Yeah.
That is right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Isn't StreamYard the greatest, I gotta say?
Sure. The 2 times I've used it on here, it's been okay.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you're still using that Skype stuff.
We use Skype because it works.
It doesn't. It craps out all the time.
It works, and why change it? If it once it breaks, once it doesn't work anymore, then we'll stop using it. But it works. And people are able to record backups now. We did the quick save club last night, and both of my guys were recording backups. So I have 3 copies of that show now. So if one breaks down, I got 2 to back it up. It's good.
And both ends can record.
Yeah, they can all record their own.
Okay,
it was very good.
That sounds all right, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not broken. I'm not going to fix it till it
what
breaks.
Was the quick save club about this month?
We played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Oh yeah, didn't everyone hate that?
No, not in this episode. Anyways, spoiler alert: everybody loved it. It was fantastic. It got some mixed reviews because it was rushed out the door and had some technical issues. But overall, it's a fantastic game that has been patched by modders on the PC. And it is a wonderful experience.
What was it last month? People hated the game. What was it 2 months ago?
Oh, that was Thief. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hate is a strong word. The game didn't.
Self-Destructo was wondering if you.
What?
Self-Destructo is curious. He's wondering if you still have pants on.
I was only kidding. I didn't want to come on, but I am wearing pants. See, there. Yes. But thank you for asking.
Oh, those are lovely.
Yes. I would have done a twirl for you, but you know, that's not kosher anymore, right? That's what Roger Ailes would get the ladies to do before he'd put them on air. Do a twirl for me.
Those are fitting really nice in the hips too.
Yes,
it's a good job. Are those new?
No, these are old. That's I'm fitting into the older pants, you know, because you lose the weight and then you can fit into the older pants. They've been sitting at the bottom of the drawer.
Oh, so you're going way back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, way back.
Nice.
Years, yes. Many years.
So what'd you do with all your big pants?
Oh, they're still there. You still need a backup. You never know.
Backup plan.
Absolutely. Those diners, they add up, you know. You never know.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I heard on the latest Fandango, you admonished people for eating their fast food, their Five Guys and all that stuff.
Yes.
Kind of like inferring that the diner food is so nutritious and well produced. Yeah.
No, it's just better.
That was the inference there.
It's just better. I mean, when you go to, and I think a lot of people, maybe they don't go to the right diners, or something. Like we got a guy down the street here. Like you go get a burger and you say, I want a burger. He's like, okay, how big do you want your burger? 8 ounces, 9 ounces, whatever ounce you want. And you tell him how many ounces, and he goes in there and he grabs the ground chuck out there and puts it right on the grill. Not pulling it out of a freezer.
Yeah.
Like your fast food places.
That sounds excellent. Let me straighten you out on a few things.
Oh boy.
Now, I wasn't a fan of the South Street Burger.
Awful.
But they do freshly made meat there.
Not the one I was at.
Not
by
frozen.
Work. It was frozen.
Did you see it come out of a freezer?
Well, it was all pre-made. Like those like it's too perfect. Like you could tell like the machine pressed it out. Like there wasn't somebody that actually patted it. It was a perfect circle. Perfect thickness all the way through.
You don't think they're using those hamburger presses?
No.
You put the exact amount in the press.
Their kitchen is open. I did not see any pressing of anything. It's been quite a while. I didn't do a very close study, but when I went there, it just wasn't. It was all about the toppings. It wasn't about the patty itself.
And you need to really be straightened out on the Five Guys thing, because you just had one bad experience.
I did. I admit that.
You compare it to this nirvana that you just described. Yes, that sounds amazing, but we all don't have that, nor the time to sit down at a diner.
Go find it.
Tip the waitress. You have the time. All that jazz.
See, this is the other thing, and I explained this too on the show too. I don't go and get burgers every week. I don't say, I'm craving a burger, I'm going to go get one. I savor the experience. I wait. The last time I had a burger was probably at the Barrie Game Exchange at your place. That was the last time I had a hamburger. So I'm like, if I'm going to go out for a hamburger, I'm going all out. I'm not going to, go to one of those places to satisfy my craving.
Kevin. Sir.
Yes, I'm listening. Oh, Bill's making money.
Every
time you hear that knock, Bill is making money. That's another eBay sale. Every time.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are going out on our lunch hour at work and don't have time for a diner.
I bring my lunch from home. I do not go out. So I would not. Like I said, I do not. I don't go for those burgers. I savor it. I wait. I say to myself, I'm not doing that. No. I will have my diner experience.
You're coming to Newmarket for this record show.
Correct.
So there is a Five Guys in Newmarket.
If Sarah's coming, she won't go. She can't go. She'll get sick. We got her a cheese sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
They're a grilled cheese sandwich, and she got sick off of it because she's allergic to beef.
Mm-hmm. So
they obviously do not take care to clean the grill, or they use the wrong utensils or something, or the same utensils. I mean, so we can't
that definitely could be. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. And not I don't fault them for that. They're Five Guys burgers. They're not expecting people like vegans to go in there and try to have a meal, right? So I don't fault them for that. But yeah. And I don't think I'm going to a record show without Sarah, because she picks up more stuff than I do. She's crazy in a good way.
Mm-hmm. So as we used to go to record shows way back in the day. I haven't been to one of these style record shows since that time. Like what's it been, 15 years or something?
Yeah.
So how is it nowadays? Is it much of the same, or is it now like a bit more commercial, like real actual retailers there now?
No, it's the same. They're all vendors. They come from all over.
Milk crate guys.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, a big part of the hobby is they're snowbirds, and they go down to Florida and they pick up a ton of stuff down there for cheap, and then they bring it up here. There was even one guy who had a crate that was just like fresh from Florida. It's just the stuff he hadn't gone through yet. He just grabbed whatever in Florida and brought it up.
What?
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight. Bringing records from Florida. Or was he like a snowbird in Florida, came back home and said, enough of this crap in the house. I'm going to take stuff from the house and take it to the show.
No, that's what they like. The one, there's a couple there that have an amazing table. We always go to them and buy up stuff from them. And that's where they said they get most of their inventory from. Oh, this was another table. There's one guy that had the crate straight from Florida. And these people say they do this all the time. They go down into the States. They pick up stuff. They pick up stuff along the way and all that. They'll stop at, I guess, yard sales or whatever. And they find stuff that's kind of hard to get here in Canada, I guess. I don't know. That's how they're able to sell it cheap.
Well, any kind of hint of anything trending here in Canada, things get ramped up in price pretty quickly. So I could see records being a lot cheaper down there still, especially the older stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of the population who are into collecting vinyl records are getting older. And they're like, when we went, every time we go there, we're like the young, hip couple there. There's like, there might be like a teenager or two, but for the most part, it is baby boomers there. They're not young people there.
Yeah, and the young people just, I don't think they really consider the, what's it called, aftermarket, the repurchase market for records.
Yeah.
Like even my daughter collects records, the terrible ones.
Yeah, they're into like the new stuff, right?
Yeah.
Not like the old stuff that we're there for, like 10cc and Steely Dan and stuff like that. They're not looking for that stuff. They're looking for Drake and Wu-Tang and stuff like that. I don't know. There was one guy that came in. He was looking for, I think Eminem. I think he was looking for, and all the vendors started making fun of him. Like, we have no white rappers here. Like, you'll have to go to a store to get white rappers. You won't find any white rappers here. Like maybe it had to be there, but it was funny at the time.
I remember too when we used to go, there was always a vendor that was selling by the pound.
Right. Yeah. No, nobody does that. Not exactly that. But you find a lot of records that brand new would be like $20, $25 or whatever. And they're selling the used ones there for $5. It depends on what you're looking for. I mean, obviously Bob Dylan, that's, those kind of things are gonna, Grateful Dead, they're gonna ask more for that. But a lot of the stuff that Sarah's into, like the Canadian stuff from the 80s, she can find that stuff really cheap. But when you pick up a lot of stuff with your wife, you do get the deals for bundling everything in. Like we went to that pop-up one in Aurora last weekend, and we grabbed, I was counting it, I got up to $125, and I'm like, okay, let's stop here and just see how much he asks for all this, and then we'll do a proper assessment. And he flipped through it all, and he just said, all right, $80. And Sarah had like REM Green. He had $25 marked on that. He had a few dollars that he had like $25, $30 marked on. But we ended up buying, I think it was 16. Yeah, it was 16 records off of him that he charged us $18 for, which I think worked out to $5 a piece. Which is pretty good. So there are deals to find, but it all depends on what you're looking for.
Well, as vendors, like we vend at the Bear Game Exchange, it's happening in 1 month, by the way.
That's right.
And the amount of weight we carry in with all of our stuff, and it's just games. Mm-hmm. Imagine the weight of hauling all those records into them. Oh,
yeah.
Back-breaking.
Yeah. Yep.
Records are heavy, man.
They are. Yeah.
They're heavy. Yeah. When I was buying, it was because records were cheaper than CDs.
Yeah. And
now it's flipped.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can find, I mean, the ones we went to, he had, I went up to one and they said, okay, the CDs were $4 each. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be very selective in what I choose here. And I found one Stevie Ray Vaughan CD that it was like a tribute CD that had BB King and Eric Clapton on it. Came out in the early 90s, so the likelihood of finding this on vinyl would be very rare. I don't think it had a re-release or anything like that. So I said, you know what, I'll grab this on CD. And they weren't $4, they were $1. It's just sure, whatever you want to take. You take any CD for $1 because nobody seemed to want them. So yeah, you can get CDs for dirt cheap, but there isn't a lot of selection there. And a lot of the CDs that are there are mostly collector's items, like the bootlegs and stuff like that. And they're charging, you know, what they're worth. Do we still have people listening to this? They're probably sick of music talk, right?
Well, as soon as you came on,
everyone dropped off.
It dropped immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And then it came back. People started piling in.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. You got say hello to Matt Bandy. Stopped in for a bit.
Richard's friend.
Big Bandy.
Yeah.
And I'm missing it. Musty chimed back in again. And what happened to my chat? There was someone else. Sorry if I'm missing.
Might have been me.
I think when I saw Big Bandy, I got so scared and stuff, because that's
the world
the big
needs
time.
More Matt
when
Bandy.
I was on the latest Cartridge Club Portable, which just came out today, first thing I said was to Curtis, I said, "So, well, is Big Bandy coming on?" It's like, "No, it's just you." I'm like, "What?" What, really? Because Big Bandy was all in the Twitter of this game. I thought there's no way that if you have Big Bandy available, you're not going to have Big Bandy, but it was just me. So that's one I got over Matt Bandy right there.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Very nice.
Curtis all to myself.
Very good.
Have you've done a Cartridge Club Portable?
Yeah, I have done 2 or 3.
Oof.
I've done 3.
Jeez.
I did Metroid. I was on a shoot 'em up with Eric, the Mighty Q Dog, and I think I did another one. I can't remember what. I think.
Oh, that's pretty big. That was my first time.
Yeah.
That's big
Popped
time.
the cherry.
Yeah. In my heart, I hope it leads to other big shows. But,
Well, we have you on regularly. It's definitely not for the clickbait because I see those downloads. I don't know if it's the Christopher Guest movies or the Guest. I don't know what's happening there, but people weren't interested in the Christopher Guest or interested in hearing who we had on to talk about it. I don't know.
That's messed up.
It was a little disappointing, let me tell you, because I thought, if anything, I'm curious about those movies. Let me hear what these guys have to say. Wasn't the case. Although I don't know if you guys experienced this, but Podbean does this weird thing for us, and it kind of bums me out once in a while where I see we'll go like months and months and months where the downloads are like they're a little low, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I don't know if it's Apple or something, but something releases the stats and it's like on a random day there'll be like 300 downloads that should have been there from the beginning, but all of a sudden they're there again, and it just releases it on like one day.
Yeah, I'll see that the odd time. Certainly not 300.
Well, maybe I exaggerated. I don't
Fandango numbers there. But I just figure it's like one person who caught on, or they resubscribe or something, and then their podcast fetcher just kind of grabs all the episodes.
Oh, maybe.
So there's a spike for that.
Okay.
I don't know. Who knows?
Could be.
How's your listener? What was it? Philippines?
Oh no, we got one guy in Russia that downloads every episode, and another guy in Germany. Every episode. And then there's one guy in Japan.
Maybe it's us. We have a Philippine.
No, we do have someone who downloads our show in the Philippines too. But they're not consistent every day, every time. So maybe when we get a shout out on STC Pod, maybe that's when the Philippines downloads us. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Good Christ, Joe Rogan. Well, this is NES friend. I don't think so. Mr. What the hell is that show called? Polykill? My goodness. Polykill kills our show. It's killed our show. What do I talk? Killed both of our shows. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
We're just, we were the big cheeses at one point. Now we're just fighting over Polykill scraps. Oh, you sick? You caught up on Polykill? Hey, how about try a Retro Fandango? Come on.
I don't know. We got to figure out where they have this effort that they continue to put into their product.
Yeah.
Got to figure that out.
Yeah, no. Effort is, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Let me see here. When was the last spike? I'll give you some real numbers here.
Numbers are happening.
Yeah, it's okay. So like in one day in November 2019, we had 542 downloads.
That was my show, the one I was on.
Were you on in November? No, it wasn't like tied to any specific day. It was just one random day that we didn't release an episode or anything like that. It's just this one day, boom. It's almost like as if they're holding something back, like they're not releasing the stats or something, and then I don't know. Like one of the podcatchers, like Sketcher, or it's got to be Apple. I mean, Apple is like our what is it? They give you the breakdown here. 23% of our audience listens to us off an Apple product or through iTunes or something like that.
I don't want to open up my stats. It hurts my heart too much.
It is. Well, that's what I mean. It's like so depressing. And then that one day happens. It's like, oh, there you all are. You are still listening. I thought I lost y'all.
There you all are.
And then since that day in November, it's been nothing. We've been back down, No.
STC Pod had for our listenership Duke and Mrs. Q Dog for a while, and now Mrs. Q Dog has quit.
She left you.
Yeah. So it's getting pretty sketchy.
Well, I know what that feels like. We lost her years and years ago. I don't know. Actually, I'm not 100% sure we ever had her.
Yeah.
I think she was always an STC Pod girl for sure.
Well, I don't know what we did, but
well, I do have a trick for getting Eric, the Mighty Q Dog, on. You got to put him in your description. Put his name in there, and he'll listen to your show right away. That works every time.
Right. Yeah.
So it makes me feel good to know at least one person's listening.
Yeah, and he did really go out on a limb and say Down's Periscope was like top notch. Now, I will side with you on that one.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right.
Well, I think it gets an automatic pass from me because if I recall, didn't it have Bruce Campbell in it?
It does not.
What is the one I'm thinking of?
You might be thinking
Bruce Campbell's in it.
There's another one called it's with Tom Arnold. He might have been in that one.
Oh, it's that.
It was based on a TV show with Ernest Borgnine.
McHale's Navy.
That's it. Let's see if Bruce Campbell was in that. Oh, McHale's Navy. 1997. Starring Tom Arnold, Dean Stockwell, Deborah Messing, David Alan Grier, Tim Curry, Bruce Campbell, right there.
Wow.
Bruce Campbell got billing right ahead of French Stewart.
Oof. I was just listening to something on Sirius. I just caught a snippet of it. But the Jim and Sam show?
No.
With Jim Norton and Sam guy?
No.
If you check it out on YouTube, they post a lot of their episodes on there. Anyways, they had Bruce Campbell on. So I was listening to it live, so I didn't get to hear much of it, but I did hear, Bruce was talking about life lessons and the biz and all that. And he said, I've never done a project for money. Never once have I done a project for money.
Bruce said that?
Yeah. I'm like, wasn't it McHale's Navy or something he did? Because
yeah.
That seemed like a money thing.
That had to be for money.
But
I mean, he wouldn't be wrong to say he doesn't do many things for money. He doesn't do a lot for money. Did I read that Matt Bandy said that he listens to both? Was that a slip up? And he was saying he doesn't listen to Polykill. He listens to both of our shows. Did he make a mistake, or was it that he listens to both Poly and Kill?
Yeah. Yeah. Musty says, Bruce, we're thinking it's the Spider-Man movies he was in. He was great in those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Those were just cameos, though. I never did watch Burn Notice.
But I'm going to have to go back and find this interview he does on the Jim and Sam show, because he was getting into some interesting things about like where his revenue comes from nowadays, and his books and the licensing on the Evil Dead stuff. It's all pretty interesting. Like the audio books, for his books, I guess he had to buy back the rights of his first 2 books from the publisher because they weren't going to do an audiobook version of them because they didn't like money or something.
Yeah, I guess that's a big thing now, right? And they're going back and redoing all or doing books from the past that had never gotten an audiobook because they're pretty huge now. Everybody's got earbuds in.
Who doesn't want to hear Bruce Campbell read his own book? That's crazy. So he had to buy back the rights, and then he did the audiobook all on his own. He hired the studio, he hired the engineers, he did all that. And he says that's just a major part of his revenue now coming in is the book stuff.
Wow. That's Audible?
Yeah, he mentioned Audible for sure. And I think Amazon ties in there somehow.
Yeah, Amazon's got like some free audiobook thing. It's a monthly, you pay a monthly fee and you get all these audiobooks for a flat fee every month.
You do?
Yeah, it's something.
Is that with your Prime? Do you get that?
No,
it's something else.
It's something extra. It's just like those video services tied in with Amazon Prime.
Yes.
You heard my warning about that, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it's true. Like I got
suckered into it when I thought, oh man, this is awesome. They stepped up their game. Look at all these things. And then when I went to actually watch one, no, you need to pay for this now. Damn.
But there was a bunch of like broadcast stuff on there too. I'm like, I could cancel all my satellite and cable and just go with Amazon Prime here. But then they were like subcontracting all the other apps.
Yeah. Which makes sense to give them a platform, but it would have been nice if they made it a little more clear that this was something extra that you had to pay for. But that doesn't tell you that until you click on it.
And it's hard to like search for stuff that's streaming, and because it'll come up on Amazon and you go to it and it's not free. There's got to be a better way to search for, when you think, I want to see this movie and where is it streaming? Because I have every streaming service, but then it's not there.
Yeah.
But it says it's on Amazon. Yeah. It's not really.
Yeah. That's when I go to the pirates. I say, screw it. You should be on one of my services. I pay for all these services. It should be on here somewhere. So
what kind of pirates are we using nowadays?
Still the Pirate Bay.
And so you're bringing in a torrent?
Yeah.
And then you're playing it back off your hard drive?
Yeah. Old school. Or a thumbnail. I put it on the thumbnail drive, and then I walk over to the Xbox and I'll play it off the Xbox.
Okay, why am I having trouble playing? Because I've just gotten into the Xbox One game. Why am I having trouble with it finding my movies I just plugged into it?
I had a hard drive here that work was throwing away. Legitimately, they were throwing it away. They said, we don't want this hard drive anymore. I said, I'll take that hard drive and I'll bring it home. And yes, I just came home from work, Eric. Thank you very much. And I just came home I brought it home and I tried to plug it into the Xbox, and the Xbox wouldn't recognize it, even though it had all movies on it. But I could put any old thumb drive in there and it'll recognize that.
You think it's my hard drive?
Could be. I thought that would be great to just load up a ton of movies on there and TV shows and just watch whatever on there. Another thing too is VLC has an app on the Xbox.
That's what I'm trying.
Right. Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's like,
I open up the VL.
It can only be a certain size or something like that. I don't know.
I open up the VLC app and I search for the files through the VLC app.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not working.
Yeah. Same with me. That hard drive just wouldn't work. So I don't know. I don't know if it's too large or something. I don't know.
Wow. Eric came in and he's gone again already. You're right.
Well, that's good. Good
if you mention him.
Yeah, he'll show up. That's it.
Holy mackerel.
So do you want me to get us into some serious trouble?
Oh, please.
Yeah. Do you want me to rant and rave about Amber Alerts?
Oof.
Not allowed to complain about them. Even though when you work at 7 a.m. in the morning, you gotta get up at 5:30. They go off at midnight. You're not allowed to complain about them.
No.
Don't complain. Let me just say that in the States, their Amber Alert system is on a tier. All of their alert system is on tiers. So they had the highest one is presidential, and that's the one that they used one time. I can't remember if it was on purpose or by accident, but they sent out an alert to everybody by accident at one time, and everybody got it. And that bypasses any setting on your phone or anything like that. Right. It just goes to everything. And then all the other alerts, your weather alerts for tornadoes or severe weather, or that's another tier. And then there's your Amber Alert tier. And in the States, you can go into your settings on your phone. You can even find them on your phones here in Canada. And you can go and you can turn off those lower tiers. So if you don't want the weather stuff, if you don't want the Amber Alerts, you can turn them off. But not here in Canada. When they brought the system over in Canada, they had to go through the CRTC instead of the FCC. And the CRTC said, nope, any warning is presidential level. Doesn't matter what it is. Some idiot in Pickering accidentally thinks there's a nuclear blast. Doesn't matter. It's presidential level. Goes to everyone. Doesn't matter what it is. So I'll just say, I think they should adopt the American system into Canada and have things on tiers. So the people who want to be alerted about Amber Alerts at 12 a.m., they can have that. Because they're probably up late at night texting each other anyways, or looking at their phones anyways. But for some of us who need to get to bed because we work early in the morning and really have been home since 3:45 in the afternoon and haven't gone anywhere, haven't went out to see if there's any black SUVs or Jeep Wranglers picking up kids. Yes, freedom. That's true, Musty. That's true. So all you Canadians out there, you got to complain to the CRTC. And don't let them play that game. This is a thing the CRTC does is you'll call them up and complain. They'll say, whoa, don't complain to us. That's not our call. It's the carrier's call, or it's the phone company's call. You got to call Samsung or something. No. CRTC sets that regulation. You call them and you complain.
Oh, dear. Deary.
Hey, and I'm all for the, I get it. If I had a kid and the kid was kidnapped, I would be distraught. I would want everything possible done. I wouldn't think that waking up people at midnight would do anything, but maybe any sort of hope or whatever. I get it. But
yeah, unfortunately, we got to push it out to everyone, because you might have turned that thing off because you're normally in bed at midnight. But one day, maybe you were out shoveling your driveway at midnight and saw something.
What are the chances? And I have other ways of getting Amber Alerts. I don't need it through my phone. I got tons of ways to get Amber Alerts. Amber Alerts are all over the place. I'll hear it when I turn on the radio when I get up in the morning, or see it on TV when I turn on the TV in the morning. I'll see it. I'll hear it. I'll get it. It's ready. But I waking me up at midnight is not. I didn't even look. I turned the thing off. I was so pissed off. I shut up. And then it went off again. So I looked. Yeah. So then that time it was like, okay, well, it went off twice. Maybe there's a tornado or something. So then that time I looked at it and it was, it was an Amber Alert. Some kid got kidnapped. Sorry, but there's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. And then it's like the crying wolf situation. It's like every time you do this, like the first time it went off, I said, screw it. I know it's got nothing to do with me. And if you're going to keep bombarding me with this stuff, eventually I'm just going to start to ignore it.
It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
I think it's easy. I think you just adopt the American way to do it.
No,
one thing the Americans did right, it was that.
I think everyone's got to be on call for that one, for an Amber Alert.
I don't think so. I'm sure I'll be on call when I get up and I'm out there, and then I can see stuff. but I'm not. You
don't know if you're out there.
I will be out there, and I'll get it. Like I said, there's tons of ways you can actually leave me a message on the phone that won't alert me, that won't wake me up, so I'll see it when I get up in the morning. I'll even do that. That's cool too. But having it go off.
Okay. That's a reasonable compromise.
Sure. Make sure that I see it at some point. Absolutely. No problem. But I'm not gonna be able to do anything at midnight for you. I'm sorry.
We to give context, what was it, 2 months ago we had a nuclear alert come across our phones.
Yeah. It was some guy that screwed up.
I was driving home from an overnight shift, and the phone went off, and normally as I thought it was an Amber Alert, I wasn't going to look at it, but it was a weird weather day as I'm driving home. So I thought I should better check in case there's like some massive blizzard up north that I'm driving into and everything's washed away. So I'm trying to drive and I'm looking at the same thing, and all my eyes pick up is nuclear alert, the nuclear power plant. I'm like, what the heck? Looking in my rear view for a mushroom cloud. What a crazy, crazy warning we got. And I flip on the radios because I'm in the car, flip on to all my talk radios, and they don't have a clue what's going on. And of course, their switchboard's lighting up. They're like, we don't know. We're trying to track it down. No one's saying. What a weird, weird morning that was. And it took, an hour for them to retract it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
And it was, I don't know. I didn't hear if any heads rolled over there, but it was somebody, was it a test or something like that they were, I don't know, or something got mixed up or something. They accidentally sent out an alert to everybody when they weren't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
And it was a weird alert. It was from the nuclear power plant and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like something weird like that.
What do you mean? What do you mean everything's fine? I didn't know there was a problem.
This is from your nuclear power plant just to say everything is fine. What?
Sure.
That's right. Musty is recalling when Hawaii got the impending missile attack.
Right.
Alert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Hawaii or did Japan get that too? No, Japan. Yeah, it was Hawaii.
No, yeah, it was Hawaii.
So yeah, that was a wild one.
Yeah. Crazy times.
Yeah. So the alerts, should they be silenced? I don't know. And you got people who will turn them off, and they will need to know at some point if there is a tornado over their house. That's why it's developed. That's why they made this thing.
Yeah, but you put it on the tier, right? And then you can select the tier with the weather warnings. They don't have to all be on the same one, right? So you got presidential, you got the weather ones, you can leave that one on, and then the Amber Alert ones. And if you want to put those ones on, you can put those ones on. Like for the immediate ones, like sure, if you, like I said, if you want to put a blanket one out that I get like a regular text message that I'll see, sure. Not this one that completely takes over my phone and it's blaring off at this crazy, stupid noise at midnight.
Well, you were also talking on the Fandango about the days of us having to type weather crawls onto the TV.
Yes.
And that's something we both had to do.
Yep. Those good times. Did you ever have to alter a piece of text from the Weather Service of Canada to appease anybody there?
No, but I recall they would just like rip the print off out and say, put this on.
Yeah.
And we're like, I can't, it's 3 pages long.
Yeah. It was like a soliloquy.
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, just put the important stuff." I'm like, "No way! I'm editorializing this."
Right. You come here and you tell me what to put on. And that one guy came down with his red marker and he crossed off a lot, and then tornado. Let's throw that tornado in there. Throw that word in there. You're gonna make people crazy.
They'd get out of hand. Like they would constantly do weather crawls for just rain.
Yeah.
Watch out for the rain happening.
Or the high winds, which happen in Barrie all the time, because you got all that farmland and everything, it happens.
Well, you just recall the Barrie times, right? Now I'm involved with stations out in London and stuff. And London, Ontario is rainy all the time, just like real London. And so there's constant weather alerts for rain. I think they're fine. They're fine. They'll be fine with the rain. It's no big deal. Such a pain in the neck. Or the old days, like you said, with the giant weather crawls. I remember having to type one out, and because we had the crappiest equipment, the computer ran out of memory.
Yeah, was it a Chiron computer or something? I can't remember.
But... No, that would have been the real deal. It was something crappy third party.
It was the AliExpress version of a Chiron.
It was Inscriber, wasn't
it? Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, yeah, Inscriber.
Yeah, so you didn't. It was like the VIC-20 of on-air graphics. Yes. Very little memory.
Yeah.
And then they would get hopping mad if that thing isn't on air.
Yeah.
Well,
why isn't that on air yet? And then you put it on air, and then people who are trying to watch whatever the heck is why is this crawl on my screen all the time? What the heck we wear? Like Voyager or something like that. 4 PM.
They love their crawls.
Yeah.
How about the time station had a complete power outage? Everything's off. Everyone's sitting in the dark. And the news director comes running down. We need to run a crawl that the station's off air.
I'll get right on that, sir.
Hold on. Let's discuss the workflow here, how this is going to happen. Well, people got to know we're experiencing technical issues.
Yeah. Sure they do.
Yeah. The news.
Good times.
Good old news.
No real concept of what goes on in actual master control programming.
Yeah.
Well, sir, this has been a slice.
Oh, good times.
Believe it or not, I have stuff to do. And I sacrificed doing something just so I can come on here and talk to you. I'm supposed to be editing the Quick Save Club episode right now, but I put that on hold for you. But now I need to do something even more important. I got to make Sarah dinner before she gets home.
Oh, well. And what is the dinner plans?
I am making pho. I'm making my own pho.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
It's so tasty. So good.
I don't know about that.
You've never had the pho? Of course, it has vegetables in it, so you probably wouldn't eat it.
Yeah, I'm scared. Scared of that.
Very, very tasty. Once you go pho, you never go back. So it's good at the restaurant, but it's pricey and stuff. So I tried making my own earlier in the week. It went pretty well. I'm gonna make some changes to the recipe, and we'll see how this batch goes.
This is a big soup bowl thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, with the noodles, and then some people put like hard eggs in it and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose you
I
can
don't
do
like that.
Yeah, no, you don't have. Like no, I've never get that. We always just get the plain chicken broth pho with the vegetables and the big noodles. So it's really just a big bowl of chicken soup with a different tasting broth. The secret sauce, or the secret ingredient in it, is fish sauce. Fish sauce is the one that gives the pho that different flavor.
Yeah, that sounds disgusting to me.
It's tasty.
Fish.
Good. It's good. You
Fishy.
Don't like any fish?
No,
fish at all?
As long as it's not fishy.
well, this gives it's more of a anchovy taste. It's like a salty taste to it. Yeah.
All right.
Good times,
well,
good times.
Definitely appreciate you coming by and extending this show.
Yeah.
If you call this a show, I don't know what we're doing with it.
I don't know what is this thing anyway.
Yeah,
you just
having
once in a
fun.
while you come on here and you show off stuff that you bought. Is that what happens?
It's for archival reasons instead of doing a spreadsheet.
Oh, so this is going to be archived. Oh, this isn't good. Okay, well, just erase the last half hour then.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for showing up, for enjoying us in the chat. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, I guess that's it. We'll have a good day. No STC pod this week.
What?
Well, His Highness is jet setting somewhere warm.
You're not going to do a backup guest or do your interview?
This is kind of it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it'll let me catch up on the podcast that apparently is ripping you guys off. I'm listening to R3 right now. Record, repeat, and it's like a regular episode of their show, but apparently this is ripping you off. Somehow. For sure. No, I don't see it yet, but maybe I'll get to the part where they rip you off. Maybe Fraser burps and farts or something.
All podcasts fall upon our format at some point.
Interesting.
It's fine.
Anyone who talks into a microphone follows your format.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay.
All right. That's it. Ending broadcast. Thanks, guys.